Today I want to talk a little bit about the test of your faith in terms of what are we being called to look more at within ourselves? What are we not seeing or perceiving because we're expecting or wanting a certain outcome? As an example, within a relationship or within relationships period, if you're an entrepreneur like myself, a heart-led entrepreneur who you're building a grassroots business. I mean, this is really for any entrepreneur, I suppose, but my experience personally is within the realms of spiritual entrepreneurship. The services and offerings that I provide are to guide you into your own body, to feel safe within your body, but also to liberate and reclaim the unspoken or the silenced or the shrunken parts of ourselves so that we can lead our lives owning and honing our own unique spiritual gifts. We can lead from a sovereign and empowered place, feeling safe to speak our truths, be who we are truly here to be, and walk a path of purpose and in alignment with what our soul's mission is, and deepen in our relationship with God, with the universe, with the creator, with our spirit team, with our guardian, with our wise, well, and healed ancestors, as well as our unhealed ancestors. Over the last 5 years, it has been one of my greatest challenges because as an entrepreneur, you are presented with opportunity after opportunity to deepen into the embodiment of how you want to show up in the world. So me as a healer, I am always invited to deepen into the embodiment of the work that I am here to be of service and support and guide others through. Where I'm going with this, having the faith and keeping the faith, how strong can our faith be and how can we trust? This applies to not just entrepreneurship. If you are the person right now who is like, I have had enough of the bullshit in my life, whatever that is, whether it be within relationships, within a career, within your own physical body, how you treat your body, how you show up for your body, your relationship with your body, whatever it is. Take what resonates, leave behind the rest, but use this to apply it to whatever resonates for you. Within these different areas, when we are wanting more, when we are trying to keep the faith, but we're being challenged, and it feels really hard sometimes, and it feels like nothing's working, or it feels like nothing's happening, we are being invited in to let go of something. We are being invited to go within and ask what is still here that may be keeping what it is that we're looking for at arm's length. Maybe there's something we're not seeing, or there's something that is blocking us, or something that we haven't recognized as a form of maybe I'm unworthy, or maybe I don't deserve this, or something that is calling for us to go deeper into our own work first, so that we can truly receive the blessings that are meant for us and actually welcome them in. If you received the blessings that you so deeply desire, how well would you receive them? Your capacity to hold on to them. Are your intentions pure and true to the soul, the loving reasons why you want this in your life? Is there still a part of you that feels this is what you need in order to feel whole within yourself? So if we are talking about relationships. You know you're a woman who deserves and desires a relationship that fulfills your specific needs that you feel a relationship are meant to fulfill, but also hold the values within it that you deeply value. So when you're pursuing a new relationship, you're going to be invited in to yourself to do away with the old ways that a relationship dynamic worked or didn't work, but that you maybe fell into a comfort zone with or a pattern with. So you don't want to perpetuate this pattern that no longer serves you within relationships, but there is work needed to be done within yourself to truly rewire that pattern from perpetuating in a future relationship. So what that's going to do is call you into those parts of you that showed up within those former relationships. It's going to invite you to get curious, if you're being invited in to get curious about, how did I show up in a relationship dynamic that didn't serve me, but I tolerated in order to have love, in order to survive, whatever it is that you felt you needed and you thought you would get from allowing things within a relationship dynamic that didn't serve you. How did you show up? What did that look like? What did that feel like? What was the belief that I carried that allowed this and accepted this in relationship that now I'm aware of, I do no longer accept, and I deserve better, or I deserve the opposite of this, or whatever it is. So if you are anchoring into self-awareness and you're open and committed and devoted to your self-healing so that you can embody the version of you who walks the path in alignment of the thing that you desire and deserve, take the courageous steps needed to go inward and get really real with yourself. This is where I am at right now, and I've been here many times, many times, and I'm so here for it. I am an open door for growth and looking in the mirror, and sometimes it's really hard, and sometimes it really sucks, and sometimes I resist it. A little bit about my backstory is 5 years ago, I quit a 10-year nursing career because I was dying inside. I was suffering from addiction. I had a lot of unprocessed trauma that I had to work through. I had a lot of pain and suffering that was in need of healing. For about 2 decades, I suffered in addiction, and I just buried and masked a lot of my own shit. And then through my nursing career, I just piled on the toxicity and used drugs and alcohol to get through work, to get through parenthood, to get through marriage, to everything. And underneath it all, I had this little glimmer of light inside of me that knew I was meant for more. Eventually, after probably 2 years or so of begging every night for guidance and support from, at the time it was mostly my deceased grandmother, who is a deep soul connection for me in spirit, asking her for her guidance and her support. After 2 years, finally, something just clicked, and I was like, okay, it's time for me to quit this nursing career. And once I did, that was like That was the beginning of the end of decades of pain and just living the way that I was living. I really was scared I was going to end up leaving my children motherless. However that looked, whether it be because I lost rights of my children and my husband divorced me, or because I died because of the drug and alcohol abuse, but also the tremendous stress and strain I was under. But once I quit my job and I was able to get sober, it opened so many doors to people who could help me and support me on my path of healing. Here I am 5 years later, completely sober and loving it. I can't imagine ever going back there. It's like not even a thing. The more sober I become and the deeper I go into my healing, the deeper I grow in relationship with God, my spirit in general, the more I know I am being called to be of service to others on their own path of healing. I have done so much of the work and done so much training and learning and growing. I just know this is all on purpose. But when I'm in these transition phases, I really feel like I go through existential crisis. Who am I? Why am I doing this? All this stuff. Because while I have grown and evolved so much in the last 5 years, and especially the last couple years, there's still so many things that I desire and I know I deserve that I have not achieved or acquired or succeeded in yet. And a lot of this for me has to do with business and growing my own business as a spiritual entrepreneur. Always hear my higher self and I hear God saying, it's all coming. Stay where you are. Just keep going. But sometimes that just does not feel like enough. The ego part of me, the human part of me is like, come on, why isn't this stuff happening? When I look back in hindsight, it always makes sense. It's because there is a specific path that I am on that does not look like anybody else's. And my path has called me to embody the work that I do at a deep level. Everybody has their own shit, their own limiting beliefs that they have to work through, their own healing journey, their own trials, their own challenges, but this is mine. And what I know to be true is the way to keep the faith for me has been through being radically honest with myself and being open and willing to do the work. Because summertime, there are energies present that revolve around addiction. And I had to get real with myself because a lot of things are coming up within my business. The work is being catalyzed through being a spiritual entrepreneur. Yesterday, I was reminded that there are parts of me that feel unworthy and that I don't deserve to be happy, that I'm undeserving, that there's still parts of me that think suffering is the way of life. And I mean, that goes beyond addiction. That's definitely a deep-seated ancestral belief system that I have been working with for a few years now. I know it's an ancestral thing because the first face I see when beliefs like that come up are the faces of the familiar family members that instilled these beliefs into me. I grew up with the belief that I suffer, so you shall suffer too, coming from my parent. That was actually something that came out of the parent's mouth was, I'm miserable, you're going to be miserable too. I suffer, so shall you. So I know that this is deep-seated, but the point is that it did call me to feel into and get even more curious about why I feel undeserving, why I believe that suffering is just a part of my life. This is what I teach. Getting curious, acknowledging through the curiosity and validating the feelings. It makes sense that you feel that way. And you know what? It is fucked up that happened. Reassuring, validating, acknowledging, being with those parts of ourselves, that energy that's inside of us that we're still carrying, even though on the surface and consciously we believe otherwise. We believe in ourselves. We believe we are worthy. We believe we are deserving of whatever it is. Our faith is calling us in to see what parts of us are still feeling undeserving. This is an invitation to get curious with those parts of us that feel undeserving and allow us to go into the story, while also simultaneously allowing us to feel the emotions, the sensations that come up with the story, and allowing us to acknowledge what that feels like. Today, feeling through these things, I thought about and felt into what it felt like to live like the version of me that was stuck suffering with addiction, hiding who I truly was, manipulating people, betraying people left and right, living in the darkness, being overcome with demons. I could literally feel again what that felt like, and it felt like a boulder sitting in my chest, while simultaneously having anxiety and nausea in my stomach because I was scared giving the space to feel it, because I know back in the day I wasn't able to feel it truly because I was numb, but it did exist. So allowing ourselves to go into the story, allowing ourselves to feel those feelings, those emotions, those sensations that come up when we think about that time when we weren't either treating ourselves or treating others or being treated in the way that we deserve and desire to be treated. How did that really feel? Making sense of those sensations, making sense of those feelings, making sense of that numbness and that survival or that way of thinking. Also asking ourselves, where did this come from? Is it a belief I took on because of my behavior? Or is this a belief that was instilled in me? Did somebody actually say it to me? And sitting with it, oh, okay, and noticing where it comes from. You might see a person, you might hear a voice, you might just hear the words. Doesn't matter, but recognizing what it is or whether or not it's actually from you. And if it did come from you, why did you take on that belief about yourself? And is it a form of self-rejection? Was it a way that you could survive your own self-sabotage, right? Was it a mask for the pain or the truth underneath it all? Facing all of that, feeling all of that, allowing it to move through you. And in the process, envisioning yourself now, holding that version of you with love, whether it be a hug, and you can actually ask this part of you, how can I love you more right now? How can I show up for you? What is it that you need from me? And we're doing this on a spiritual, energetic level. So you're envisioning the you now with the version of you then, who did live in that dynamic relationally, or who did operate in a world of, I have to do this, this is what I'm supposed to do. Whatever it is that you are no longer available for, you are ready to embody the version of you who calls in all that you desire. You are speaking and being with that part of you, and you're sharing with them and breathing into them new life, new truth, which is evidence-based. The evidence is where you are right now, right? So the evidence is in everything that you have done, everything that you are moving towards, everything that you know to be true about yourself, everything that you know is true for you within whatever it is that you're asking for, whether it be a relationship or a career path or whatever it is. Even if it's, say, about your physical body. I am no longer available to believe that my body can't do this, or that losing weight is about body image necessarily. Maybe now losing weight is about feeling and being your healthiest version of yourself, instead of something that might have been instilled into you in childhood about being thin equals pretty and lovable or something like that. I don't know. That's just what's coming up. So however this resonates for you, you're instilling the true values and the truth of what you believe about yourself and your existence into this version of you who is stuck in that old belief system that no longer needs to run the show. You no longer need to abide by it. It's not believable anymore. It's not where you're operating from anymore. It's no longer true or valuable. But you acknowledge that you understand. You're basically reparenting this part of you who needed someone to see them fully, but didn't. That someone is you now. And you see you fully. You know what you've been through. You know what you're capable of. You know what you deserve. You know how deserving God believes you are, right? So instilling all of that, bringing God into it, if that feels right for you, if you feel called to that, the way we treated ourselves, or the way we allowed ourselves to be treated, or the way other people did treat us, God always loves us regardless. And letting that fill you up with divine love. So if you want to go through this process, remember to keep in mind it's as though you're having a dialogue with maybe your daughter or your son or your somebody you really love and care about. Getting curious with this part of you, these old stories that live within you, asking questions, realizing through the process that so many actions of others are not a reflection of us. I just felt called to share all of this. This is definitely the work that I do with my clients, going somatically, spiritually, and consciously into the body to access the truth. It's a layered pursuit, and you come out the other side, you peel back the layer's gone, it's fallen away, and you can expand and embody from that place now, from this place that you healed and that you release. And of course, there might be more in the future, depending on how deeply you're being called to show up in your own life and for yourself and within relationships as a spiritual entrepreneur or an entrepreneur in general. Like, wherever you're being called to show up more fully as yourself, you're going to be called even more deeply within yourself so that you can embody your truest self and know who you are and have the confidence and the grace and operating from love and all those things. Just remembering that it's about growth and it's about love and it's about connection and it's about a relationship with yourself and God through the sacred channelings, connecting with your spirit team, your ancestors, your higher self, and going back and forth and having an exchange to guide you in the direction of your soul and what feels truly in alignment for you. Also, the depthful work due in my one-on-one mentorship. Everything you can find on my website, and I'll leave the website down below in the show notes. If you liked this episode, follow or subscribe to my channel. Share it with somebody that may need to hear it, who may need to know a little bit more about going into the depthful work. Any questions, any comments, feel free to share below. I would love to connect with you in the comment section, or you can certainly reach out to me privately. Either way, much love and many blessings.